Hello, everybody. Eric Smith here with a weekly wrap up for August 10th through August 16th, 2025. Let's jump right in. On my channel, last Monday, I posted a review for King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. On Friday was a review of the nonfiction book, Cracking Spines 3 Decades of Horror by Jason Cavallero. And on Wednesday was the end of a decade. Actually, that's not true. Not the end of a decade, just the end of another year. December 2007 for Reading Remembrances. I don't know why. I thought it might be the end of a decade. Just sounded better that way. So that's what's on the channel. Please watch those videos. Work was wild. I can't even get into all the craziness that went on. But I survived another week at work. Not much else to say, or that I'm going to say about that. Didn't watch anything, except, the usual YouTube stuff. And I think we should just jump into the goodies. I think this is what people are showing up here for. Basically, me showing off my fiscal irresponsibility. Actually, before that, let's back up a second. I did finish reading The Light at the End by John Skipp and Craig Spector. Probably the 6th or 7th or 8th time I've read this book. This is the new Fathom Press edition. Love that cover. So a reread for this. And then I am currently reading, and now we're crossing over into the fiscal irresponsibility, a book that I received on Sunday. That I should have had Saturday and would have been in last week's weekly wrap-up video, but I screwed up my order, so it didn't come in until Sunday. But anyway, the Book of Lists, Horror, by Amy Wallace, Del Howison, and Scott Bradley. They're the compilers, and they've written some of it, but the majority of this is lists by other people. But anyway, this is what I am currently reading. You can see I got a little bit left to read. And again, that did arrive on Sunday. Last Sunday. This isn't working out. There's too much stuff. Along with, that's what I'm getting to. It arrived Sunday along with some other things that, as I said, I had placed the order, but I screwed something up and realized I didn't actually place the order. I placed it a day later, so it arrived later. But anyway, these are the other things that I got with the Book of Lists Horror. Ultraman, Ultra 7, the official novel of the series by Pat Cadigan. This is the second novelization that Pat Cadigan has done for Ultraman, which was just Ultraman, the novelization of the series. A show that I loved as a child. I read the book, and it basically novelized a bunch of episodes, but not all of the episodes. I think just the ones that highlighted Ultraman the best. Now, I've never seen Ultra 7, so this will be all new to me. But something I picked up. And then a Tor Nightfire book, Black Flame by Gretchen Felker Martin. I really dig that cover. Possibly a cursed film type of book. I mean, she's got film stock coming out of her mouth there. So we'll see. We'll see how this is. My obsession with Tor Nightfire books. And then Godzilla, IDW Library Collection Volume 4. In last week's video, I showed off the first 3 volumes that I got from Target, of all places. Its Godzilla Library Collection is a comprehensive line of books that will collect every Godzilla comic series published by IDW. And this is the first 12 issues of the Rulers of Earth series. I believe Volume 5, which is not available yet, will have the final, I think, 13 issues. But I love Godzilla, and these are a bunch of Godzilla comics that I have not read yet. Haven't read these before. And then a little more comic book stuff. Marvel Comics, for decades, has published Marvel Masterworks, hardcovers, I believe paperbacks as well, reprinting lots of old classic Marvel stuff. It's a huge, huge library of books, but I'm not a fan of the covers at all, and just never bothered to pick them up. Well, a few years ago, Marvel started publishing Mighty Marvel Masterworks, which are smaller, more affordable reprints of the old comic book stuff. I think they started with Spider-Man, which I did not get because I have the Epic collections, and then a bunch of other titles: Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, a bunch of other stuff. Some of them I didn't bother getting because I had the Epic collections, but a bunch of them I picked up because it's a great affordable way to have these old comic books. Well, I found out recently that they're no longer going to be publishing Mighty Marvel Masterworks. That's what I read anyway. So I looked up a complete list of everything that's been published so far to see what I may have missed during my unemployment months. And there were two that I did not have, so I ordered those. And those are The Mighty Thor, Volume 4, which collects Journey into Mystery 120 through 125, and Annual Number 1, and The Mighty Thor 126 and 127. There's some of the old covers. This was another book where Journey into Mystery ended at 125 and just became Thor at 126. So Thor didn't have an issue 1 back then. He's had plenty since then. But Volume 4 of Thor. And then The Incredible Hulk Volume 4, which has Tales to Astonish 92 through 101, The Incredible Hulk 102, and material from Not Brand Echh, number 3 and number 9. There's some of the covers, and Not Brand Echh was, or Echh, I don't know, was a spoof comic that Marvel printed. And once again, Tales to Astonish ended with 101 and just became The Incredible Hulk with 102. And just digging these old comics. And then, there's much more. Let's see. At our house, we have a bush that is in front of the house, and it's blocking the address that is on the side of the house. I trim it. I keep it nice and neatly trimmed, but the bush itself is getting so tall that without a chainsaw to lop off the top of it, it's just blocking the street address. So I went looking for a street sign, an address sign, whatever you would call it, that we could put in the yard, because my mother is afraid that a fire truck or an ambulance or whatever won't see our address and something disastrous will happen. So I ended up getting a solar-powered street sign from Walmart, and saw that at a certain threshold, $35 maybe, you got free shipping. The street sign was less than that, so I decided to add something just for the free shipping. And this is something that's been on my radar for a while. This is the complete Hammer House of Horror 5 DVD collector's edition. So this was a TV series, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 episodes, and some special features, introductions, and interviews and things. But Hammer Horror, you've got Peter Cushing is in some of this, Pierce Brosnan, Denholm Elliott, and I've really been on a Hammer Horror kick, and it's not all the classic movies. Hopefully, it's classic TV. So I got this from Walmart. Excuse me. Then author Wesley Southard posted on Facebook something that he had picked up because Barnes & Noble is having their 50% off Arrow videos, Arrow movies. And I didn't realize that they were having that sale. They do. I get excited whenever Barnes & Noble does 50% off Criterion and 50% off Arrow. Last year or the year before, it was at the exact same time, but this time seems to be different times of the year. But I had to jump online, go to Barnes & Noble, and man, I wanted so much, but I limited myself to 3 films, and the first of those is Bloody Birthday. And these do have reversible art, reversible sleeves, whatever you would call it. But I like this particular cover and tons of special features. You can see all the special features there. Killer Kids. I've never seen this movie before, so hopefully I enjoy it. And then this isn't working out the way I would like because I have so much to show, because I am so fiscally irresponsible. We'll toss that over there. Then we have The Mutilator, classic slasher, underappreciated slasher. Again, look at all these special features. Director approved special edition contents. I've seen scenes from this movie. I've heard quite a bit about it, but I've never watched it. So again, hope it's good. Again, it has you can flip the cover, but I like this classic cover. And then the third one that I got is the same thing that Wesley Southard got, and that is The Stuff, a movie I have seen, a movie I very much enjoy, a wild movie, again, special edition, all this stuff, and looking forward to watching this again. It's got another flippable cover, and I do have to complain, though, that 2 out of 3 of these cases were damaged in shipping. It was just in one of those thick, kind of puffy cardboard envelopes, and there was a hole in the envelope when it was delivered, and big chunk of this missing, some little chunks missing out of Bloody Birthday. The Mutilator came out okay, ironically, but very excited about all 3 of these movies. There was a bunch of Giallo movies that I wanted to get. Deep Red, Bird with Crystal Plumage, some others. Can't remember all of them. But, as I said, I had to limit myself. Then, I have to get comfortable. Show off my shirt. I got this at Walmart quite a few weeks ago. For some reason, it's Halloween 2. Seems like an odd choice, but seems like a fun shirt to get. And speaking of shirts, TeePublic was having a sale, and so these might be a little wrinkled. They've been in the hamper because I always wash my clothes before I wear them, my new clothes. But I'll show these. I pulled them out of the hamper so I can show them off. Hopefully we can fit them on screen. So let's see. Let's start with this one. This is based on a Marvel comic. Can you see that? Dead of Night. That's the Scarecrow. Not to be confused with DC's Scarecrow. But big fan of that character. He's in one of the, I have 2, I believe I have both Marvel horror omnibuses, and the Scarecrow stuff is in there. And then Marvel did some classics. The Invisible Man. Love that illustration. And then I like to get some cutesy stuff, but with that sort of horror, that Eric Smith touch. So we have My Little Kaiju. Goes along with My Little Cujo and My Little Alien. And I used to have the My Little Philip, My Little Black Philip. shirt, but that got torn up at work. I need to get a new one. They also had, I was very close. They have My Little The Thing. There were 2 different versions of that. So that might be next up. And then finally, this one. I was looking for one that might be like My Little Pinhead or My Little Cenobites. This is what I found. I'll tear your soul apart. I don't know how well you can hear me when the t-shirt's in front of my face. So yes, got those t-shirts. They're going to go back in the hamper so I can launder them tomorrow when I do my laundry. And then finally, something that arrived today. I ordered this at the same time that I finally pre-ordered The End of the World as We Know It, stories from Stephen King's The Stand, which will arrive on Tuesday. That's the day it's released. It better arrive on Tuesday. But I can't show you that because it hasn't arrived yet. It's not out in the world yet. It is out in the world for the authors. I believe pretty much everybody's gotten their contributor copies. I've seen tons of people showing them off. But this is something. First, I'm just going to show you the empty box. This is if you're the type of person that doesn't like to open your action figures and things, you might want to turn away now. And I just noticed that I put the plastic back in upside down. But I'm going to show you the empty box first. This is Terror Toons, An American Werewolf in London. You can see all sorts of reflections there. That's the empty box. This, how am I going to do this? Let's move this because it's kind of cool. And I have to find some place for this. It has, this was inside the box, this nice little scene. It's still loose. I'm going to tape these corners. But I need to find some place to put this, a shelf that will fit on, so that I can put these figures. 2 figures. We have Jack, Dead Jack, the highlight of the movie. Absolutely hilarious. And then we have the werewolf. Look at that. Look at that hand. All stretchy and weird. There he is. Vicious looking. I know it bugs people when I take these things out of the box. Let's see. Yeah, there's just, I don't know how well you see the picture there. The back. I like the balloons. If you know the movie, you know about the balloons. So yeah, that's been on my radar for a long time. And when I went to pre-order the Stephen King or the Stephen King anthology, this popped up, and I was like, yeah, seems like it's time to get it. So that's it. That's basically me admitting to my horrible fiscal irresponsibility. I'm going to die penniless, but I'll be surrounded by wonderful, wonderful things. And I think that's all I have to talk about from the past week. Nothing else really exciting or interesting has happened. Plenty of movies I want to go and see, but I'm always spending my money on books and things. Although I have found a relatively inexpensive way to see movies, as long as I go to those very, very early shows at the Great Northern Mall in North Olmsted. It's like $8. It was $12 to see Jurassic World in 3D. It was $8 to see Sinners. But it's just a matter of having the time and energy and spare $8 to go and see it. But I'm usually either working or reading or recording these videos. So, well, the usual question for one of these videos, 2 questions. How has your week been? What have you been doing this week? Let me know about your life. And, of course, all this crap. Does any of it interest you? Do any of these books interest you? Would you wear these t-shirts? Would you watch those movies? Have you seen those movies? Do you like my cute little toys? Let me know all of that in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. And that is all I have for you this week. So until next week, read more books.